This is the final update to the AITA post where OP find out his baby isn't his a month after his wife passed. Link to the first part in the description. Now for the final update. Baby's gone. The results came back 2 days ago. As expected, I'm still not the father. By the time the results came in, I'd already packed up most of the baby's things. My mom was staying with me, helping take care of the baby and keeping me sane through all of this. This morning, my late wife's parents, sister, and brother-in-law came to pick him up. The handover was smooth, except for a snarky comment from my wife's sister. She said I seemed too eager to let the baby go. I didn't respond. There was no point, but it stung. Despite that, my in-laws, her parents, were supportive throughout and told me that going no contact would be best for everyone involved. I agreed. It's painful, but I think it's the right choice. I hugged them goodbye and they left. They're good people and I will miss them. Now, the house feels empty. My mom went back home today but will return tomorrow to stay for about a week until things settle. Honestly, I feel relieved. Call me what you want, but I'm finally breathing again. This whole ordeal has been exhausting, but knowing I can start fresh feels like a weight off my shoulders. As for my wife's belongings, I gave her jewelry to my in-laws. They didn't want anything else except for a few trinkets and pictures, so they told me I could sell or donate the rest. I haven't decided what to do with it yet, but I'll figure it out. I didn't respond to comments on my last post because the hate was overwhelming, and I was exhausted. My DMs were flooded with some of the vilest messages imaginable, just because I chose not to raise a child that isn't mine and was conceived through infidelity. To those who supported me, thank you. Your words helped me make decisions I wasn't confident about before. And to those who criticized me, I appreciate the perspective. Even if I didn't agree, it made me think. For now, I'm taking a break from dating and focusing on myself. Maybe I'll buy a bike and get back into riding or hit the gym again. I just need to move forward. I'll be keeping this account for about a week before I delete it. Thanks again to those who took the time to support or challenge me. It's been a hell of a journey. Wishing you healing and peace and a happy future. As a grandma of 8 and mother of 3 kids, I think Opie is an amazing person. The decision he had to make was not easy in any way, but I truly believe he did the right thing. If it had been my daughter and grandbaby, I would have gone out of my way to make sure Opie felt no guilt or remorse of any kind. Sending blessings and peace to him is the least of what he should receive. He handled it amazingly, and that baby will live a life with his family and hopefully will be told that he is loved and blessed because of the choices Opie made. You made a right call for the baby and for yourself. The baby is in the hands of people who can love it the way it deserves to be loved, and because of the circumstances of its conception, that wasn't you. Good luck moving forward. I agree. If the argument for abortion is that the baby would otherwise be unloved by an unwilling mother if it came into the world, then surely the same argument would morally exonerate an unwilling father who doesn't want to take care of a child that is not even his. And a constant reminder of both his dead wife and her infidelity, which are 2 of the most painful things a person can go through. Losing your proverbial other half, and the complete, utter, and total betrayal of the love and trust they shared together. Don't listen to the hate. It's easy to pass judgment on someone else and try and act holier than thou. We have no idea how we'd actually feel if placed in a situation like that. I'm sure the baby will be well taken care of. Take time for yourself and move forward. Can we point out how freaking cowardly it is to hide in DMs because you're too freaking afraid to spew your vitriol where everyone can see? Like it's the internet. You're already anonymous. So imagine how weak and pathetic you must be to have to hide even more by only spewing your BS when no one else can call you on it. This is why naming and shaming should be allowed. Pull up the receipts, post them and the name, and let everyone see who these people really are. Next story. Am I the a-hole for not changing my wedding day date, even if it is in my late half-sister's death week? So I, 32 female, am an affair baby. My dad's wife and her gremlins weren't shy about letting me know. Years of shunning, calling me a bastard, mistreating me, and showing blatant favoritism and overall better treatment to them than me. I left home at 19 and only spoke to my dad when I needed money. Lol. I'm getting married to the man of my dreams, and we're having a beautiful winter wonderland wedding. Corny, I know. Winter is our season. We met and fell in love during it. Plus, I was born in December, which makes it even more special. The problem is that my wedding date falls during the week when my half-sister Amy died. She passed away on the 15th and our wedding is on the 13th. I didn't plan this intentionally. My fiancé was the one who picked the date. They have a tradition of making that whole week about her, with dinners, small parties, and visiting her grave. I don't participate since I never liked her, nor did we have a good relationship. When he received his invitation, my dad called me, almost in shock, and asked if I could move the date to late December or early January, since he didn't think he could attend. I told him that if that's the case, I guess he wouldn't be showing up, because I'm not changing it. He broke down and asked if I was punishing him again. He often tries to manipulate me like this. I told him I wasn't. I just didn't care enough, and I told him not to bother me anymore before hanging up. He called again and apologized, but I told him I didn't appreciate being manipulated or made to feel bad in the months leading up to one of the happiest days of my life. I told him he was uninvited. Since then, he's been basically harassing me. I'm starting to think I might be the a-hole, but I don't know. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Your dad clearly is still only concerned about his original family. He isn't even hiding it. My friend, he's not your father. Father is a title earned, and he has not done anything to earn it. What an absolute failure of a man. I'm so sorry he was too weak to protect you from the people who try to make you feel small for simply existing. And those wedding perks that come with being a real father, like walking you down the aisle or having a dance, he hasn't earned either. You're beginning a new chapter in your life, and you're not obligated to carry the baggage forward to this new stage. And your dad and his family are baggage. Not the a-hole. Be selfish for your own peace. My nephew got married on the anniversary of my brother's death, his uncle. It made what was once only a sad day into a very happy celebration. Congrats on your marriage. I would love if someone got married or had a child around the time my brother died. Mid-June is always hard in my family. If we could celebrate new life at the same time, it would open so many new doors. You are not the a-hole. I got married in December. The 10th to be exact, as our anniversaries are around that time. My grandmother's birthday was the 7th, and for me it was like she was with me somehow even though she was gone. You didn't make the decision with malice intent. Enjoy your wedding and don't worry about your dad's family. Think of yourself as Cinderella finally getting her happy ending. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my dad's fiancé I am not interested in being her son or accepting her as a mom? My mom died 6 years ago. I'm 60 now, and for the past 2 years, my dad has been dating Kate. Kate is a widow who has 2 kids with her late husband, both under the age of 5. My dad and Kate got engaged at the start of the year. Around that time, Kate's kids started calling my dad Dad. I think it's because we all moved in together then. Since that move, Kate has been trying to bond with me and build a mother-son relationship to go along with my dad's father-kid relationship with her kids. I've tried to be polite while not agreeing to most of the things she has asked me to do with her. Mother's Day was the first real fight we had. My dad and Kate wanted us to celebrate the day as a family, but I chose not to because Kate isn't my mom, and she is not the person I'd want to spend that day with. I said as much. Kate told me she could be my mom and was willing to try very hard to be a good mom to me. When I didn't go along with it, she said these were important memories for the whole family, and we needed to blend as a family unit. My dad tried to claim I was a big brother now, or would be once they were married, and that I should want to create a close, loving, and supportive family unit for Kate's kids. When I said I didn't feel obligated to, we fought. The fight didn't stop Kate, but in the past month, she's been more upset because, on top of everything, I refused to give her away at the wedding. She said she wanted her kids to do it, and they will be walking with her. But since I'm older and technically able to do it in a more official way, she was hoping I would. I told her I wasn't going to do that and would be extremely uncomfortable in that role. After that, Kate pulled me aside when my dad and her kids weren't home and asked why I was being so difficult. I told her it's because I'm not interested in being her son or accepting her as my mom. I told her she's Kate, just Kate. Her kids are just Kate's kids or my dad's almost step-kids. I told her I don't want to be her son or their brother, and I'm not going to try to be something I don't want to be. I said it's fine to be friendly, but they will never be the nuclear family to me that they want to be with each other. My dad tried talking to me after Kate told him about our conversation, but we ended up arguing. Kate and my dad both said I was being unfair by not even trying the nuclear family thing to make it work. They said being 16 doesn't mean I can't open my heart to another mom and 2 siblings. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. Of course no. Your dad and stepmom should be trying to force you to be a son/brother. All you have to be is respectful to them. I really hope they can understand and respect you. He's still grieving. His dad and Kate need to understand that and give him his respect. This is it. The difference between Kate's kids and OP is that OP consciously knew his mom. He's good, I think, especially because he explained to her that he's okay with Kate marrying his dad and he's friendly with a lot of them. He just doesn't see her as his mother. If Kate and dad don't push it, a friendly relationship can become a trusting friendship. They just shouldn't expect the mother-son relationship. Did you make it clear to her that just because your mom is no longer here, she's still your mom? Always will be. No one should try to usurp that title. Can you offer to be friends? Yes, I said this to my dad and to Kate. They can't separate me from Kate's kids who could accept dad. But they're so young and don't remember their dad. If they would bother to do the smallest bit of research, they'd realize they're being total idiots. When I was getting serious with a man who had 10-year-old twins, I decided to actually read about step-parenting and what my role in their lives would be. Surprise, surprise, children over the age of 5 will likely never have a parent/child relationship with a step-parent. It can still be meaningful and close, but it is totally different to a parent and child. Your dad and his fiancé are being completely unreasonable. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife that I will live in my house if things don't work out? Long story short, her kids have strained our marriage, and I've been staying with someone else at her insistence after already being gone for 10 months for professional reasons. For the last couple of weeks, she's had it in her head that she and her kids will continue to live in my house without me until it's sold if we decide to divorce, while I continue to pay the mortgage. Her name is nowhere on any ownership documents. I've paid the entirety of the mortgage and the down payment. I would obviously buy her out of any other equity she's contributed, appliances and small improvements, but I haven't decided on anything beyond that. Last night, I finally told her to forget that as an option. This made her upset because she has nowhere to go, admittedly not comfortably, and cannot afford to pay the bills independently. I also told her that I wouldn't kick anyone out, but she refuses to simply cohabitate for the sake of practicality. We're still trying to work things out. So, am I the a-hole? How long have you been married? 4 years. You need to hurry up and divorce. You've been separated for almost a year already, 10 months working away. She doesn't want you living in your own home. The longer you delay kicking her out, the more money she can take from you. If she bought any appliances, she takes them when she leaves. In respect to the equity in the home, talk to a lawyer. Stop talking to her. Not the a-hole. Your mistake was moving out of your own home. I think this was legally a terrible move. I don't think he can just come back after being gone and demand she move. He already abandoned her and the kids. Not my term, but the law's term. He has some work to do if he wants that house. They're not his kids. Legally, he has no rights or responsibilities to them. He could ignore their existence, and legally he's not in any trouble unless the courts decide he has taken on a fatherly role for long enough, which depends on a variety of other factors. Go back to your house. Now. Talk to a lawyer. Yeah, I believe it's like abandonment or something if you're the one to leave, which just gave her a lot more claim to the property. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my ex-mother-in-law what makes her think she can see my child? My ex-mother-in-law and I always bumped heads. Not because of me, but because of her. When I started dating her son, she didn't like it. I never said anything disrespectful to her because I wasn't raised that way. I tried to make her like me, but nothing worked. She was just that typical boy mom who wanted her son all to herself. She would try to get in the way when my spouse and I did couple things. I still remember when she said I was taking her son from her. I never understood why she acted like this. I'm fine with the rest of my spouse's family. Years later, I got married to her son in Honduras. I always look back on that day and wish I could relive it. My mother-in-law was invited but didn't come because she said she was disappointed in her son for choosing me. I wish that was just a bad dream. My spouse was upset that his mom didn't come, but we moved on and started planning the rest of our lives together. Sorry for rambling, but in 2023 I found out I was pregnant. This is where everything started. My spouse told his family the news and they were happy, except for my ex-mother-in-law. She didn't care or congratulated me. The only thing she said to me was that she hoped the baby wouldn't make it. The comment replays in my head every day. I knew that if I was bringing a child into this world, I didn't want them around my ex-mother-in-law. That's how it's been. During my pregnancy, she disappeared. I never heard from her, and I didn't receive anything for the baby. Not that she had to send anything. Last year was incredibly difficult for me. My husband passed away in a motorcycle accident, and I felt completely alone. Everyone was grieving, but I still wish he could have met our daughter. My daughter is turning 1 this year, and my mother-in-law has never seen her. She stayed in her lane, and I stayed in mine. Surprisingly, she decided to contact me. She's been blocked, but the only way she could reach me was through Facebook, which is public. She sent me a long message saying, I know it's been a year since we've talked, but I think it's my right to see my granddaughter, so stop keeping her from me. It was very bold of her to think she had a right to see my child after everything she said. I didn't want to go back and forth, so I simply replied, what makes you think you deserve to see my child? Am I the a-hole? Under no circumstance would I let her meet your daughter, the child she wished dead. I am sorry for your loss and I understand it must be hard, but you need to protect yourself and your child. Sending virtual hugs. Not the a-hole. I would block her and move on. She hasn't been a part of your child's life and I wouldn't let her in now, especially with how she has treated you and wished your child dead when you were pregnant. Based on how she's acted in the past, I wouldn't put it past her to try and poison your child against you. Not the a-hole. But why on earth do you have your settings to public on Facebook? That is crazy. Block her. You can do this even with Facebook settings to public. I am so sorry for your loss. Thank you. My Facebook is public because that's my business page. I do have a private one with family and friends, and I appreciate it. You can block people from a business page too. I know, and that's what I did.